Hello again, I am Fluff and I thought you might enjoy this realistic battles footage. This first clip is from Operation Ruhr, I think it is. I'm in a Hurricane Mark 1, just spotted a 109 and I was pretty sure he was going to come for me no matter what I did, so I wanted to get a head start and be in a position to come back on him as he went past. And the manoeuvre went pretty much as I expected, and just as I came into position to fire, I realised I was using stealth ammunition, which for me makes it pretty hard to lead the target. Not that it was going to stop me trying to blast this guy's wings off, but did make it a bit more tricky, and he did the wise thing, diving away, and me knowing that I wouldn't be able to keep up, disengaged. I clocked the 112 and MC202 behind me and let my teammates know that that's what's flying. And as soon as I'm finished, it's time to go evasive because they've got within range to start the boogie. The 202 is the first, so I let him go round and try to get on his back, but not too energetically because I know the 112 is likely getting ready to make his run, which he does just now and has it spoiled, I think. I lose him though, can't work out where he went, and I'm manoeuvring just in case he's behind me. But fortunately no, he's over there. However, he is turning quite hard, so I focus him instead of the 202 and actually managed to get a few shots off. As he goes past, I notice that the 202, of course, used the opportunity to get a solution on me, and I managed to muck that for him. At which point I decided, right, in that case, sunshine, I'm going after you. And unfortunately, I am a little bit too enthusiastic with my fire, meaning quite a painful amount of missing and wasting ammunition. And this does come back to bite me in the arse. You can see I'm already in the red for ammo. This guy is quite airworthy still, it seems. And that's a crit on his left wing. But that's also me completely out of ammunition, and with at least one opponent who is absolutely hunky-dory, that I'm now going to have to try to find an alternate way of dealing with. And what I ultimately decide to do is fly as evasive as I can and try to avoid these guys getting into a position where they can shoot at me, while hoping fervently that my friendlies respond to my pleas for help and come and bail my arse out. Fortunately, the Hurricane is quite a good plane to be flying in this situation because it turns very nicely. And not going incredibly fast at low altitude, it's got good handling. And just as I really panic, friendlies have arrived. That's a 112, I think it was, taken out. The 109 is now going to be engaged. The MC202 has been engaged. I have been saved. And of course, the friendly there did not get a crit on the 202, although he was majorly responsible for him going down. So a bit of a shame. Not that I'm not grateful for the experience. And I think a thank you is definitely in order to the teammates, so there into the chat it goes. Well, this next clip is me in an F2A3 Buffalo against KI-45s. That was pretty much the entirety of the enemy team's makeup. One of them ignored me, another one didn't. He decided he wanted a piece of the Buffalo, and as soon as I realised this, I started evasives and foiled any plans he might have had, initially anyway. Now I had to let him go because this guy's coming towards me. I didn't actually know if he was going to attack or not, He didn't seem to be committing. Seems like maybe he didn't see me. And I keep manoeuvring, and then realise that the original guy has come back. But fortunately, just keeping on doing what I'm doing avoids that attack. I rolled the wrong way, which accounts for how strange this manoeuvre looks. And then shoot more out of frustration than anything else, because not really an effective solution on him. Get a couple of hits in, and these are 50 cals, so they hit a bit harder than the 303s. But there's still another guy. There's basically me dancing with these two guys for the majority here. They really wanted to buzz me to death. And then you've got quite a strange manoeuvre being pulled off here as I wet with flaps, which allows me to get quite a bit of fire on him and not fall out of the sky. Rather, I sort of just gently... Oh, no. Okay, airspeed going back up. And somehow managing to stay on him to continue spam firing. I'm not really sure that was legit, but whatever. I then realised that the other KI-45 is coming back, so it's time to prepare for an incoming again. And he's avoided. Tried to come back on him, but he anticipates that and dives away. And me being a bit stubborn and annoyed at this point that I'm fighting both of these guys, sends a few rounds downrange to indicate my displeasure. Break off because, well, there's not much going on, so I may as well disengage. But common sense was never my strong suit, so I don't bother rearming. I just turn straight back around and head back in, because why not? And I like the look of this fella, so I try to avoid his initial attack. I'm very lucky that I managed to avoid all those rounds and come back round on him, and he does what he's been doing the entire time, all of them pretty much, which is just going whooshing straight past, boom and zoom, and then extend away. And at this point I'm a bit tired of all this, so I shadow the KI-45 that I can see. And I know exactly what he's going to try to do. He's going to try and lead me over the enemy naval units and get me blown up by their AAA. And you'd think, having realised this, I would wait for a more opportune moment. But no, my approach is, well, if that's the game you want to play, me old China, that's what we're going to do. So I just continue shadowing him and waiting for him to do something. And here we go. He starts to turn, and I come in to cut across. And that's one bit of AAA I've been hit by. No hits, so I continue my manoeuvres, quite lucky to not go straight in front of his guns here. Don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just fervently trying to get on his tail again. And come on, just die. I think at this point I'm now down to 2 guns because I'm running low on ammo. And I refuse to give up. Tagged again by AAA. This is just dumb. You shouldn't be doing this. I know I shouldn't be doing this, tagged again by AAA. But like hell is it going to stop me and I get a kill. And tagged again, and again. The difference between a good player and a bad one is that the good ones learn. I just keep doing this, and I was very, very lucky. And believe it or not, after several crashes of friendly and enemy planes, it's just me and this dude. And I chased his dot over here, lost him, and it just turns out that he was trying to land for whatever reason when I spotted him. He could just as easily have been the other way round, him spotting me. And he's going low and slow, so I decide why not strafe the crap out of him? So there's my first run. Come up, almost vertical. I think maybe he had designs on possibly following me and gave up pretty quick. So I loop over and open up again. Long burst, but I'm not too worried about conserving my ammunition at this point. I just want to get this over and done with. And it's time for another dose of the guns. And there we go. Sawed his wing off. And the guy I was playing with was quite happy about that as well, having been hit by AAA fire at about 10 kilometers distance. Now, last but far from the least, they laugh at my stock Gladiator, I laugh at their funerals. This CR42 has clearly decided to come and play, and I decide to indulge him, but I'm at 60% throttle because I was cruising, so as not to overheat my oil, which means that the manoeuvres that follow are, well, you'll see. This is pretty much your granddad in a boxing match. But ultimately I do end up on his tail, and my 47.7 mils are good enough to deal with this fella. These default belts are underwhelming, but then so are the machine guns that I'm using for the most part. So that's the kill, and a very lucky survival of all those rounds from the 112. And we all know that the 112 is the natural prey of the Gladiator, so I take it upon myself to trash talk and let him know that he isn't long for this world. I issue a challenge. And the 110 reckons I'm a free kill. I can see him coming. I move to evade by abusing the float carburetor and cutting my engine constantly. Wasn't really part of the plan, but whatever, it worked out. And I'm back on the tail of the 112. For what good it'll do, because I'm so slow that I have no chance of actually catching up to him. I may as well be just trailing him and shouting insults the entire time for how effective I'm going to be at the moment, unless they turn around and come back towards me. Unfortunately, that's what starts happening right about now. So unfortunately one of ours has gone down, the 110 comes back, and I'm taking the opportunity right here to give him a little bit of the 303 love. Hits, but no crits, and I don't even know if there was much damage done, really. And after the 112, who I can only assume is very distracted, or maybe got damaged in some way, because he promptly says hello trees. Got by the Gladiator, and now it's back to the 110. I'm more worried about his gun than I am about the frontal firepower of that thing. But it's all his own way, unless he's stupid enough to try and turn fight with me. And after a couple of boom and zoom attempts from him, he finally manages to get me in a position where I hesitate, and just as I decide to move, too late, the cannon rounds are already en route. And that does for me. Fortunately, he and his mate in the 110s both crashed, giving us victory by default. So I finished first on the team with 2 kills and a decent score, which I was quite pleased about. I thought was quite funny. So until next time, take care.